We are awake to do community service, but at what cost? Good morning, everybody. We are headed right now to go get Dion's booster, but then also to go to Costco afterwards to put together some relief supplies for the victims of the Bronx fire. I will leave an article about it and different ways that you can donate down below. So I ended up getting a bunch of my friends involved because I had said, you know, I'd really like to do something for the victims of the Bronx fire. And then I called a church up in the Bronx, the New Life Rehoboth Church, I'm hoping is how you pronounce it, but I looked it up and it means open spaces. So pastor was super duper nice and was like, whatever you have, we are totally willing to accept it and we can transport it over to the survivors' families and then the other victims that were part of the fire. Okay, clock the merch. National Coalition on Harm Reduction, meet people where they are. So I end up posting to Instagram and our Facebook Buy Nothing group that's in our neighborhood. And I say, listen, I am collecting donations, either physical or monetary, for the Bronx fire victims, and I'll be heading up on Saturday, and we're also gonna go to Costco and basically make like this huge order. And people really pulled through, more so than I thought that they would, and we raised $365. So Dion and I are kind of on a budget of like about $400 with the two of our donations as well. So I'm really, really excited to get a bunch of things for some people who I think could really need it right now. I talk about this all the time in my work, that it is a really universally used therapeutic technique, that community care at its whole is a really excellent form of self-care, that working with people or, you know, with a cause that you care about, whether that be animals or the environment or any type of human rights or advocacy causes, that it is one of the best things to do for when you are feeling how I was feeling, which was really just listless and useless and unmotivated and then very guilty about all of those things. It also gave me, however brief it's going to be, a real sense of control over my life, which I think is really helpful, especially now when we are still really dealing with Omicron and we don't really know what's going to happen. I'm also in the middle of doing PhD applications, but at this point it's really just kind of a sit and wait and see who else is going to interview me. I've secured one, we'll see about some other ones. I'm sure that they'll come at the end of January, I would say at the earliest, but probably some in February as well. And it gave me a reason to leave the house this morning. So I think that's mostly what we'll be doing today, is getting Dion his booster, then heading over to the UPS and just dropping off some stuff. Then headed over to the Costco, having what I'm really hoping will be like a very fun, fulfilling time of picking out a bunch of different things. I want to get some stuff for kids too. So, you know, like, of course, the things like rice and beans and crackers and cereal, but also, you know, maybe some chips, maybe some soda, maybe some candy, just things that I think will bring a sense of like normalcy to what's going on. We may also pick up some things like diapers and baby formula and a couple of other things like that. Some toiletries too, things like deodorant, maybe some PPE stuff if we can find it. Yeah, just some things that are going to be easy to kind of carry around and just have. And then after we drop off the stuff in the Bronx, I think that we are probably going to get some lunch, really bring it home because we're not eating in restaurants right now. And then have Dion recuperate from the booster. When I got mine, I was like, I feel amazing. I'm gonna go to a Broadway show. And then a couple of hours later, I was like, it is going to take me 8 real minutes to walk this block and a half from the subway to my apartment. And that was really tough. It was cold. I was so sick. I was so unhappy. I was like, this was the worst decision. But he's pretty confident that he is going to feel pretty good about it. So, I mean, fingers crossed, we'll see. I also told my students about different ways that they could donate to the various organizations as well that are really helping out with the fire victims. Mostly because I wanted them to see, you know, at the very least, that I am an educator that acknowledges that there's stuff going on outside the world that will likely very much affect us in a really deep way. So just kind of letting them know, like, hey, I know what's up. I know it's hard. And I know that you may be feeling a lot of feelings right now. I'm here to talk. If you want to do something about it, if action is really the way that you want to go, which is the way that I want to go, if that's what you want to do, there are a lot of different ways that you can donate and that you can feel, you know, like you are taking part in this activism experience. And then, you know, at best, my mission with teaching the courses that I do is really to just churn out a bunch of tiny activists at the end. So I tend to bring this stuff to light with them pretty early, pretty often, especially if they are not receiving like more university spread emails that are like, hey, we're all aware that this is happening, and we're really sorry about it, and if you guys need a space to process, we're here. So I really like to be that for my students, and I think that that's part of the reason why they put a lot of trust in me when they're talking with me about some of the stuff that they've been struggling with, besides the fact that I'm like young and I literally get paid to have people talk to me. It seems that on Sunday into Monday there's going to be an awfully big storm, and I don't need to work on Monday, and it's going to be brick outside all weekend. So I think that this will be our big activity for the weekend, and then we will probably spend the rest of the weekend just holed up, having Dion recover, and then just trying to be warm, and also making sure that my plants don't freeze over.
Line my cigarettes, loaded with regret, and I find myself a spot between space and time. Everything I know, yeah, it's got to go. And I wonder to myself, do I even try sometimes? I found myself a girl.
We have successfully finished up our mission. $411 worth of stuff is going to be donated to the families of the victims and to the other survivors from the fire. And we are feeling really good about it. The pastor was super, super nice, helped with everything, prayed for us at the end, which was very sweet of him.
Hi.
Dan, how are we feeling?
Good.
Good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good day.
Yeah.
So then we picked up some delicious, delicious Mexican food, and I think we're just gonna have a nice quiet day. And I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who donated. It was so, so kind. It felt so, so good to be able to give everything out. The pastor said that everything is going to be donated today and tomorrow. He talked about creating these little drawstrings bags that are going to have a bunch of stuff in them. So some of the soap that we bought, some of the deodorant, some of the toothpaste and toothbrushes, all of that. We also did a lot to be sure that we were giving some good stuff for kids. So we picked up some like chips and some Little Bites and some Gatorades, some Capri Suns. And I had said, you know, gosh, I really hope that there's kids. And he had said, oh, there'll be plenty of kids and they're really gonna love the stuff that you brought.
And I find myself a spot between space and time.